Hello everyone, welcome back to this session on Tile series. Yes, so this will be the third session of our new series, and sorry for keeping you on hold for a couple of days. It's festival time here, so a lot of preparations, lot of work, got a little tied up. So continuing with our series, I have this A5 paper in front of me on which I have done some bit of groundwork. Yeah, so first of all, let us draw a string. So I have this A5 size paper in front of me, and now what I'm going to do is just draw a circle, a kind of circle in the center for my reference. Something like this. Yeah. And once we are done with that, now I'm going to use another coaster kind of a thing that I have with me handy. So that CD that I had is quite big, so I need a smaller thing, so I'm using this, and what I'm going to do is now start drawing circles. So today's session we were going to be drawing zendalas. So this is the first, right? And then I'm going to draw one more like this. Use anything you, if you want to use a compass for this project, you can do that. And then I'm going to draw the third one like this, and then I'm going to draw another one like this, right? So this is the outline of our string, and now I'm going to show how we are going to draw the overlapping tiles today. We are basically going to be drawing zendalas. So I'm going to start inking. As mentioned earlier also, I'm not going to push my pen hard here. I'm just taking it easy and kind of stop here. Yes, and then again ink the second one. Since this is an overlap, again stop here, again start here. So basically today we are going to be drawing 4 round tiles. Again stop here, and then the fourth one. So these 4 petal shapes which are formed in between are basically the overlaps. Yes. Yeah, so that's our string for today. Now if you want, and if you have an eraser handy, then just get rid of the unwanted lines. So that is what I'm going to do, so that those lines don't confuse me. Yes, and then we can straight start to tangle. So if you see it clearly, on a closer look, you would realize that it is one S and another S. Yeah, nice curvy S. So that's the string, and we will be giving it an overlap kind of an effect. For that, the first step, as we have done earlier also, give an outline or border to the zendalas, so that when you tangle, they look discrete, they look separate from each other, like this, to all 4 of them. Yes. This is an A5 size paper. Just in case you have missed the introductory video, I would advise you to have a look so that you are clear about the tools and supplies and the stationery that I am using. Done with that? Now time to tangle. Yeah. So this style I'm going to start with a tangle called ravel. So start with a nice orb in the center and then draw some nice S shapes, just like we did for a tangle called drawings. If you want, you can add another orb at the end. Yes. Again, drawing the third one draw an orb as you end the S, or you can draw an orb first and then connect them with an S stroke, whichever way you are comfortable. There are no hard and fast rules how to draw the tangle. Yes, it's just so much easier to connect two orbs with an S stroke, right? So I'm going to kind of add a dotted line inside since I would need it eventually. So now comes the time for another S. So I'm going to add one more S shape here like this. This is a little thicker one because if you intend to add something else inside this aura, then you can. So it is a little kind of creating a section inside where I can add something else if I want. Yeah, done with that exercise. Now these can be very comfortably converted to Bronx shears or black pearls or whatever you wish to call them, caviars. So I'm just leaving a small highlight and I'm inking the rest of the orb. So take your time. Slowly do that exercise for all of these orbs. So the next thing that I am doing is adding Knightsbridge inside these wider sections that we created for our ravel. So just adding simple Knightsbridge, which is nothing but creating some sections and inking alternate sections. You can also call it Marasu in a way. Just that Marasu has some double lines in between, and this is pure Knightsbridge. Yeah. So just do that exercise for all these wider sections that you created like this. I am done drawing my Knightsbridge. The next step is, as usual, as we do for ravel, just keep adding some 2 or 3 auras on both sides till you fill up all the in-between spaces. So probably we will start with 3 and then we shall see if we need to add more, we can do that. So I am adding 3 auras on both sides of each of these S shapes that we have drawn, and that's the tangle ravel. Slowly take your time. Yes, so in between spaces will always will be also filled with auras only, just that I'm first adding 3 for all, or whatever spaces are there, just going with that. Take your time, slowly do that exercise. Purely aura based tangle ravel. And the last one here. Now the in-between spaces, you can either fill it up with further auras or you can add tipples, anything that you feel like. Yeah. So I'm going to go on both sides now, something like this. So it gives a woven kind of a feel. And you can either go till the end or probably I will add some bit of tipple here at the end like this. Yeah. Again, I'm going to add some more auras on both sides and then add some tiny tipples here. Here we don't have much spaces, so just add one or two more and then add some tiny tipples. Yes, so I'll do exactly the same for all. Yeah. So this is how our first style looks like after we have drawn the tangled ravel. Yes. Now let's get started, draw some more. So I'm going to start with a tangle called Diva Dance Rock and Roll as far as the second tile is concerned. Now either you can draw with your black pen only or you can change your pen to burgundy. So I'm going to draw burgundy Diva Dance Rock and Roll and then probably we'll switch back to our black. So let's start here right away like this. So Diva Dance Rock and Roll version is again a tangle purely based on auras, just that we have these bold inked portions in between the auras. I'm just going to go in a spiral, and as I draw the spiral I'm going to add these bold inked sections in between wherever I feel like. The auras are pretty close. If you want, you can also keep the auras a little wide apart. That's fine. So this version of Diva Dance looks something like a flower and it's called Diva Dance Rock and Roll version. I've switched my pen to Burgundy PN. Yeah. So adding one last aura because tiles are small here, so I'm not going to extend it too much. And then what we can do is probably I'm going to add a tangle called Footlights. Yeah, so Footlights is another fun tangle. It starts somewhat like Crescent Moon. So I'm going to add these moon shapes around the edges of my tile, something like this. Yes, and then it's a good idea to ink it. You can also leave a small highlight while you ink it. So probably a small highlight will be a good idea. And then just ink the rest of the section. Just like we do for moons, crescent moons, I'm doing the same exercise here. Leave a small highlight and then right, in the same way I will do all. So once the inking is done, now I will just add one single aura. Till now we are doing it exactly the way we do for crescent moon. Yes. And now I'm going to draw some lines. So start from the center, and footlights is just about these lines. It's a lot of line work. So take your time. Create a kind of a triangle in between. Ink that space. or if you want you can add auras but in a different direction inside that space, inside that triangular space created in between. It's entirely up to you. Tangulations can be many. Up to you, how do you want to do it? Again, create a triangle. You can also add auras like these. I like the bold inking. We can also enhance the look by adding some dots or something else inside these triangular spaces. Yeah. Again, start drawing lines. Slowly, take your time. Don't haste up. Footlights, it's all about line work. Again, create a triangle in between. Ink it. Or add anything else inside, lines, stipple. Take your time. Moving on to the next. Again, ink it. Yes, I think you got an idea how the tangle is supposed to be drawn. Tangle pattern footlights. Again, a triangle in between. Yeah. So I'm continuing in the same fashion, just that I have given a slight turn to the lines because we are drawing footlights in a spiral. Right, and then again going to draw lines here, draw some more and give a slight turn, and then probably some hidden ones here. And then complete this part. Yeah, so that's the tangled footlights in a spiral. Let us get on to our third tile. So third tile, let us draw a tangle called Y4. Yes, for that, let us start from the center here again. I'm first going to draw a cross here, somewhere around the center of this third tile, not really intersecting each other. And then I'm going to go ahead and draw my Y4. Yes. So this is a comparatively new tangle and this is how we draw the tangle. I have done a series on this tangle if you want to have a look. And then this part will be again hidden behind somewhere. So we shall see how to draw that. Again, curl it up, curl it up. First connect these two, draw behind here, connect these two. Again go up, curl it up, curl it up, connect these two, draw behind here, again draw behind, connect these. So this part probably a little bit would be visible, probably like this. Yeah, something like this. Yeah, that much is sufficient. Now the in between sections that we have, you can either insert some moon, any other tangle of your choice. I'm just going to add some flowers and petal paints here. So just add 3 curves, something like this, and then add another aura. Again, do the same exercise here. Part of a tangle called petal paints. Again, 3 curves there, connect them, add a slight aura. So it's like a flower hidden behind. Add an aura. Another one here, add an aura and ink. Yeah. And some hatching, some bit of edge marks there. Right? And then you can, if you wish, to add double lines here, something like this, and then just add a slight V shape here, and then add some dots, a slight embellishment to our Y4, just to highlight it a little bit. You can also ink this with a highlight, something like this. Add any tangle that you wish to. No hard and fast rules there. I'm just giving an idea. This tangle looks like an extension of the tangle Huggins, just that it looks like a curled up version of Huggins. Yes. And now the in between spaces, we can fill any filler tangle. And it would be a good idea to change your pen to brown. If you want to give a dash of brown, then it can be done. Drawing behind here. Yes, so let's change our pen to brown and add a simple tangle, something like Knight's Bridge. Yeah. So I'm just going to add simple lines here. Create a square grid. Yeah. So you can extend this grid here also. Take your time. Do that exercise. Don't bother about whether the lines are straight or slanting. That's fine. All is well as far as Zentangle is concerned. Everything looks nice and beautiful once the tangles combine with each other. It all looks nice. So I'm just choosing tangles that are coming to my mind at this point. So go by your choice of tangles. If you want to add something else, any kind of a filler, there are so many of them. You can try any. Yeah. And the next step, of course, is to ink alternate spaces. That will add a lot of drama to our tile. So go back and ink alternate sections of your Knightsbridge, just like a checkerboard. Just that I'm using a different ink. This is the burgundy PN. So take your time. And ink. So spaces are small, the tiles are smaller in size. So choose your tangles wisely. Don't add too many tangles at the same time, so you won't be able to do justice with them. So choose one or two tangles, out of which one at least should be a drama tangle, so it adds and helps you, separate your tiles from each other. So that's the whole idea. I'm going to go on like this. You ink at your own pace, no hurry. Yeah.